The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus began to make it clear to his disciples that he was destined to go to Jerusalem and suffer grievously at the hands of the elders and chief priests and scribes, to be put to death and to be raised up on the third day. Then, taking him aside, Peter started to remonstrate with him. "Heaven preserve you, Lord," he said. "This must not happen to you." But he turned and said to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan. You are an obstacle in my path, because the way you think is not God's way, but man's." Then Jesus said to his disciples, "If anyone wants to be a follower of mine, let him renounce himself and take up his cross and follow me. For anyone who wants to save his life will lose it, but anyone who loses his life for my sake will find it. What then will a man gain if he wins the whole world and ruins his life? Or what has a man to offer in exchange for his life? For the Son of Man is going to come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and when he does, he will reward each one according to his behavior." The Gospel of the Lord. Those who were here last Sunday will recall the dialogue that went on between Jesus and Peter. And on that day, Jesus blessed Peter and was full of praise for him, because Peter recognized that Jesus was the Son of Man, he was God. And Jesus told him, "This is not coming from you as a man, but from your divine inspiration." And he blessed him. And he also made him the head of his church. He was so much pleased with what he said that there and then he declared him the head of his church. Not less, not more than 3 days afterwards, we have this incident here today, when Jesus calls Peter, "Satan, get away from me." Because this is not coming from divine inspiration, but from your humanity. He saw in him Satan, the same Satan that had tempted him in the desert, when Satan had offered Jesus all the riches of the world, all the power in the world, if he adores him. And Jesus did not go for that temptation. The same year, Jesus told him, "Get away from me. This is a big temptation. Unless you carry the cross, you cannot be my disciple." Saying that to Peter, he is saying that to us. We all have the crosses to carry. No one is excluded in this world. We all have crosses to carry. And we need to take them up. We need to follow Jesus, to be his disciples, by taking up our crosses. Which are the crosses that we need to carry? First and foremost, our responsibility as Christians. That is a cross. It is not easy to be a Christian today. It has never been, but today may be even more so. You need to be people of principles. God wants from us to be light in the world out there. God wants us to make sacrifices. It's not an easy way of life, being a Christian, because we need to show that we are ready to carry our crosses. We need to forgive our enemies. Isn't that easy? We need to behave in the world. We need to be of good example to everyone that we meet. That people might say, yes, he is a Christian. He believes in God. Because he is behaving as a Christian. We need to do that. And we need to carry the cross. And then, of course, we have other crosses. Our sickness, our vices, our addictions, so many. Addiction, drugs, pornography, which is a plague in the world. Pornography, through internet, through so many sources today, that keep tempting us, keep attacking us, to be addictive, to go that way. We need to fight these addictions. We need to be courageous enough to say no. We need to be strong in the face of these temptations and carry the cross. Yes, we need to carry the cross. And as Henry Nouwen, the great Dutch theologian, once wrote in one of his beautiful books, The Wounded Healer, he said, as Christians, we do not only accept the cross. As Christians, we need to embrace the cross, as Christ did. Embrace it. To say, yes, this is my cross, this is my responsibility, I embrace it, and I want to carry on in my life as a follower of Christ. This is the only way to be followers of Christ. There is no other way. And Christ made it clear to Peter, to all his disciples there, who all faced martyrdom after that. Peter himself was the first one, and all the others followed suit. They all faced the martyrdom, because now they knew that Christ, who had risen from the dead, although he suffered, although he carried the cross, he was risen. And he gave them an example of how we too should carry our crosses. Let's read the prayer that we have on the screens. Dear God, help me to walk by faith, not by sight. Let my life bear me to valleys deep but light. Take me beyond my wildest dreams to your presence, your plans, your schemes. Bring me the light in every tear, profound joy where there was once fear. Carry me close, embrace me tight, as crosses cause me to clutch in fright. Deepen my trust that you are my true prize, as I travel from my depths to rise and know that I am graced to be just the person you wanted to see. Amen.